Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to the Monday night edition of the 710 IWK 710 Daily Sesh. I'm your joint host, Ron McNabb, and we'll be talking about a few things tonight. A few themes for the Monday nights will be Education Mondays, where we're going to be talking about different things such as gardening, uh, cannabis, of course, and other purposeful things that I do and that others do to either pass their time away or to help uh, get by in today's world. I'm a little bit nervous. This is my first solo show here tonight. Hopefully, this is going okay. What we can do is I can put it out on the floor if anyone wants to uh, mention any topics that they'd like to cover or anything over the next few weeks or whatever. Um, One of the things that I'm going to be doing is I do grow my own cannabis. So I am going to be doing one night a uh, going to clone. We'll show everyone how to clone. I've got a mother plant right now that has got a couple of clones that are ready to be taken off, and yeah, so we'll do that. Not tonight, but probably maybe next week. Um, I see someone here saying flowering question about flowering temps. We can talk about that at some point, definitely. Um, and anyone who is listed as Facebook user, if you can, just grant StreamYard permission to see your name. If you're not comfortable in doing that, or you don't know how, feel free to just put your name in the comments. That way I know who I'm interacting with. Let's see, Mike Powell. Hi, Mike Powell. How you doing tonight? Um, yeah, so this is kind of different for me. I'm used to kind of a two-way conversation. I work on Thursdays with Pace Radio Network with Cindy Howell as a joint host on the Reefer Reporters. Um, and so, yeah, this is obviously quite a bit different than that. Normally, I'm talking on back and forth, having a conversation with Cindy, reading the news, and giving my own spin on things as well. And I see a huzzah, and that is obviously definitely Frosty. Nice to see you here, Frosty. Thanks for joining me. I know I'm going to look back on this and it's going to be a little bit weird watching it. I've been doing some test broadcasts in the last few days just to see how this is going. So not gonna lie, I am nervous. I guess I can start out with just saying, like I said, everyone, if you tuned in last week, you would have heard my little story of how I came to be where I am today with Reefer Reporters and working with Kim on IWK, and now also doing the IWK 710 Daily Sesh on Monday nights. So yeah. Got a little bit of a mind blank there. I'm going to take a bit of a toke on the bong here to calm my nerves a little bit. If anyone else, feel free to join along. We will be doing a toke at 7:10 and at 7:20. The 7:10 is the East Coast, and the 7:20 is to commemorate the 420 West Coast. Oh, Mike, yeah, what am I smoking? I am smoking tonight some, let's see, black cherry punch. See, I'm getting used to the camera here. Obviously not as good as Frosty, but I'll get there. The more you do it, the more comfortable you get with it. And I'm already in my third week of reefer reporters, and things are going smooth there. Going right along. Granddaddy Purple. I love that. That's definitely a good one for me. Oh, Roach Bong. That's definitely Frosty. I'm sorry, Frosty. If I could send you something, I definitely would right now. But I'm a little low myself at times, and that's the way it is. Sometimes you just got to roll with it. So I'm gonna smoke here right now. So yeah, my wife and I we've been married just over 26 years, and we're avid gardeners. We've had a garden almost every year that we've been married. We both come from families of gardeners. Her father has still does a garden. My grandfather, when I was growing up, he had a garden in Toronto. We actually lived our backyard backed onto the 401. And I remember growing up there as a kid, going out there helping my grandfather pick stuff or plant stuff and things like that. My wife and I, we grow a lot of our stuff now. This summer, we hardly had to buy any vegetables with all the stuff that we've grown. We have a 4.5 foot freezer in the basement that's almost full. I just brought in a whole shit ton of carrots, parsnips, beets. Still got to bring in turnips. But yeah, we grow a lot. Next week I might have a list of all the stuff that we grow. Is anyone else out there gardeners? Aside from growing cannabis? Hi, JJ. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, so at one point, my wife and I had about almost 6,500 square feet of garden space. When we lived on an old farm. It was an old cattle area where the cattle ran. So very, very good in manure and stuff. We had like rows and rows of green beans, tomatoes, corn, we had butternut squash, all kinds of stuff. We had one zucchini plant. It was actually 4 plants, one cell pack that we had planted on a tarp that was, I think it was like 40, I can't remember the size, 40 by 60, something like that. And it took up the whole tarp. The main stalk of the plant ended up being about that thick. I had to use an axe to chop it out of the ground. And we ended up having so many zucchini there that year. We ended up giving away a lot. We had a lot frozen. We ate a lot, barbecued a lot. And then we also sold a bunch for like a couple bucks a piece at the end of our driveway. We ended up making something like $50 that year, which paid for most of the seeds at that time. Which leads me into what I'm going to say now is now we're at about 2,500 square feet of garden, and we save a lot of our own seeds for us to grow instead of having to purchase seeds. So yeah, it's almost 7:10 for East 7:10 East Coast toke. Mike, just weed this year, but normally you do have a good garden going. What type of things do you like growing, Mike? Any other gardeners? One thing I want to try next year is peanuts. I'm in the process of starting to build a small greenhouse that I got a bunch of windows free from a neighbor, and going to attach it on the end of my shed. And it is 7:10, so we're going to have our 7:10 toke. Happy 710 Easties. And there you have it. Another 710 done and gone. Mama T, how you doing? You love gardening, but no longer have the room here at the condo. Yeah, that kind of sucks. But you know what? Do you have a balcony, or any sunny spot? Because you can also just do a couple of pots of stuff, like even cherry tomato, like one pot of cherry tomatoes, or a pot of peppers. If you're on a wall facing the sun. We lived in an apartment building in Toronto for 5 years in Scarborough. Now, fortunately, we had a very long balcony. It was just over 30 feet, where we did have a few pots of stuff growing on there. I can't quite remember what all we had. I know we had some tomatoes. I believe we had some hot peppers. And a couple of other little things, maybe some lettuce. It was mostly also to have the kids get involved in it. But definitely very restrictive in the garden, in the apartment compared to living in a house. Mike Powell, carrots, pumpkins, cucumbers, raspberries, strawberries. We have, is it raspberries? No. Yeah, we have raspberries on our property. They're kind of tucked over in a far corner, kind of out of the way. I don't really like where they are. I'm wanting to take some and dig them up and transplant them and make a couple of rows out in the, we have a big field out by the highway, and use it kind of like as a natural fence along the edge of the property. No balcony. Oh, in a basement unit. That kind of sucks. You did grow herbs in a planter and sweet potatoes in a planter. Didn't know you could do that. I've seen sweet potatoes being grown from slips before. And that's something I want to try, but it's a little bit difficult up in the area where I'm in Northern Ontario. But from what I understand, it can be done. So yeah. Don't really have a whole lot else to say right now. Let's see. You know what? I'm going to see if I can pull up a picture. I'll pull up a picture of something that I just harvested. Hold on. No, that's not going to work. Just bear with me a moment. New laptop, so I'm trying to figure this out. Here we go. Share the screen here. There we go. It's a bunch of parsnips there, onions, beets, rutabagas, and carrots. Today I cut all the greens off, most of it. The only thing that's left is the turnips I got to do. Just the turnips there. There's still a few more things in the garden I got to pull out, but they're root vegetables mostly. So they're still good for another little bit. Even if it gets a little bit of frost or snow, they're still fine. In fact, carrots, you can leave carrots in the ground all winter long. And in the spring, you can dig them up and they'll be it's good to eat. They'll actually be quite sweet with the way the cold deals with the sugars. And back over here. And I almost took myself out of the broadcast. That would not have been good. Let's see if I can find another picture to show you. I was trying to find a picture of my old garden from the old farm that I lived on, where we had almost 6,500 square feet. I had two big plots that were 40 feet by 70 feet, and then a few other plots in there. I can't find it right now. I'll get that stuff together for next week. Good evening, Robert Newman. Nice to see you here. So yeah, I'll find some more pictures next week. I was trying to fool around. This is the first time I've ever done the broadcasting myself, so still a little bit of a learning curve. So yeah, it'll take a little bit of time to get used to that. And as we go on, the talks will get smoother and smoother. I'll be able to interact a little bit more in the comments. I just did something here. Oh, there we go. Zoom. Like I said, it's a new laptop, so I'm also still getting used to the features on the laptop, and it's a touch screen. So that just complicates things a little bit more in some senses, but it actually makes it a lot easier in other areas because I'm not having to sit there and scroll with a mouse all the time. Someone tuning in from Cleveland, Facebook user. If you want, you can grant StreamYard permission to see your name here, or you can put your name in the comments if you wish, or if not, you don't have to. That's fine. So yeah, we're coming up to 7:20 soon. Another 4 minutes, and I'm going to be right back. I'm just going to go get a plant that I wanted to show you that I just transplanted yesterday. Just give me one moment. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so this here is a Californian gold that I've started out from seed that I'm growing out to be a mother. Let's see if I can get the camera angle right here. There we go. I don't know if you can see, but there's I don't have my flashlight here, but there's you know what, my phone flashlight should work. There we go. You can see there's wires here, wire hooks. I just have there to hook onto the branch, pull the branch down. So instead of having the plant tall like this, because I'm only growing in my basement, my cabinet's maybe 6 foot tall at the most. Not including the that's including the light space. So I've actually got less growing space in there than that. So that's why I'm kind of training the branches to go down. So then all the little branches that come off each node will grow up straight, and then I can use those to cut as clones. I have another plant that I have as a mother plant that I've grown from seed, LA Confidential. I've already taken a bunch of clones off of that. I'll show you my, I have it as my desktop. Let's see if I can, no, I don't know if I can share my desktop. I'll show it to you guys next week. The plants I have right now that are in flower that are coming down probably within the next couple of days. They're clones that I cut from my LA Confidential. Growing from clones is a lot easier, I find. You don't have to, well, especially if you're growing from a female plant, you're guaranteed to have female plants rather than growing from seed, like a regular seed, not knowing whether it's feminized or male, female or male. You run the risk of wasting all that time and energy and everything on only to find out that it's male. If you want a female, you can spend more money, get a feminized seed, and but even then, you're still got to wait all that time. Clones, it's a lot faster, a lot cheaper, and you can supply your own supply. And it's 7:20 right now. I'm talking away, and so happy 7:20 or 420 West Coast. See, I don't know what I'm talking about here. Um, I'm all over the place, but that's the way it is sometimes. Happy 420 West Coast. Clones are the only way to go for a first-time grower, in your opinion. I agree. Learning how to grow from seed, that's a whole other ball game altogether, because you got to make sure that you germinate the seed properly, that it doesn't rot while you've got it in the if you're doing the wet paper towel method. And it's just, I don't know, clones for me, it just makes more sense. I still have seeds that I do pop for just learning along the way. Or, as I said, I usually have my mother plants from seed rather than a clone. That way, I get the taproot there. It's just personal preference. There may be some science or reasoning behind that, but for me, it's mostly personal preference on how I want to do it. With clones, I've done cloning before several different ways. I've used rock wool. I've used the peat pucks. I have at points had 100% success rate in cloning, but for some reason, the last 3 times I cloned, I took 20, 10, and I think another 10 at different times, and I had almost 0 success. The last 10 I just took, I planted them directly into 1-gallon pots, just with the clone stuck into the medium with cloning hormones on, and I had roots starting within a few days. So I think I'm going to try my next run that way too, just to see if that is the better way to go for me. And that's the thing with growing. There's usually no right or wrong way to grow. Everyone grows differently. Everyone has different abilities. Myself, I have to work with my own abilities or disabilities, whether it be physical or mental. There's times where my plants don't get watered on time, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that has that issue. So one of the things I'm going to be working on fairly soon is building a gravity feed watering system, and I'm going to have an 8-port. I run eight plants. Well, right now I have 10 running in my flower cabinet, but I'm going to be doing runs of 8 coming up, and so I'm going to get a 8-port water diverter for that you use for like a sprinkler system, and so I have a line running each plant, and then I'll have like a tote or bucket with water in. I use Gaia Green nutrients, so I just basically top dress the soil, so I'm not putting any nutrients in the water. All I'm doing is just pHing the water and watering the plants, so I don't have to worry about a lot of the other things that you would have to with nutrients that you're putting into the water. And one of the things that we'll be going over the next few weeks too is just some of the ways that I've gone about with building my grow cabinets and such, doing it on a very limited budget, and being able to source most of the materials for free, utilizing either our local dump or local Facebook pages for people getting rid of things, and as well as skits. There's lots of free sources of items When I first started growing, I started out using just household CFL bulbs, uh, high lumen, um, just from the dollar store with homemade fixtures I made. And you got to start somewhere. And that's how I started. It all started with a fellow patient gifting me a white widow clone. And from there, I just kept doing research. Um, I cloned that clone. I had taken 8 that first time and had 50% success rate. As a new grower, for the first time ever growing cannabis, yes, I've grown lots of vegetables over the years. Um, Cannabis can be a little bit trickier. Um, it's very resilient, I must say, but you can, as a new grower, if you're not paying attention, you can run into issues. I ran into issues with major fungus gnats. Um, the only way I was able to successfully get rid of them was basically to dump the soil. I had that bad of an infestation. Um, since then, I haven't had an issue. Don't have a pest issue at all. Um, and I just basically kind of put that to better watering practices. Uh, Most new growers tend to overwater. Even when you're growing, like when you're starting out from a new seed, like a seedling, a lot of people tend to overwater the seedling, and um, then the plant dies. So, uh, yeah, I'm just going to take a moment here just to read a couple of comments here from Robert Newland. Yeah, I've been growing since 2018, I think it was. Um, my first plant, I actually did really, really well, considering I had no idea what I was doing. I'm going to throw up a picture next week of that as well. Um, so yeah, I'm just going to read some of the other comments. Yeah, people underestimate their need for soil. Local availability isn't always there. Yeah, actually, I ran into that problem myself. Especially being on disability, don't have the funds available to just go out and buy whenever I want. Um, so sometimes when product's available, I can't go out and buy it. I have to save up a little bit here and there, or use my GST rebate. Use that. I've used that twice now to buy lights. I have Holland Star X5, and I can't remember what the other one is. It's one up or down uh, from that. Um, Big difference in growing. The density of the buds is there. The buds inside that I grow here are like rock hard. Um, Almost makes me not even want to grow outdoor anymore with how leafy and airy they can be. And then couple that with the environment outside that I can't really control, whereas inside I can control my environment 100%. Um, I'm here all the time mostly, so I'm always checking in on my plants, monitoring humidity levels, temperature levels, and such. And so, yeah, going back to the soil availability, I needed to transplant my plants into 7-gallon pots for before going to flower, and I couldn't find any soil anywhere. And thankfully, I found one place in North Bay, a little tiny grow shop there. They had some that they had just got in, and so it wasn't exactly what I was looking for, but it's something that I believe is still, from what I've seen, a half decent product. The Pro Mix HP with the mycorrhiza. I've been fairly happy with that. Haven't had any issues. Um, so yeah, it's my first run with them. I'm going to see what the next run is like. Uh, so yeah, Robert, you're saying, yeah, find a grower. You know what? I've almost thought about that myself. Sometimes having someone to uh, act as a designated grower for myself, just because, and then just have just a few plants myself to play around with, and learn, because growing a lot for what you need, I consume, what I usually consume is about 3 ounces a month, maybe a little bit more depending on how active I am in, especially the summer months out in the garden. So to be able to grow all of that myself inside with what I have, it's kind of hard. I still have to go out and purchase some of my meds. Hopefully, one day it won't be like that. And my 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 actual goal is to be able to grow more than what I need, so that I can turn around and donate and help others. Uh, because I'm sure most of us have been there, uh, where you don't really have much, or you don't have any, and it's not a good place to be. Um, it's unfortunate that that happens, but that's the way it is. Um, so I'm going to close out here in a moment. We'll have one more. I'm going to have one more talk here to close off. I do appreciate everyone joining in tonight, and as I said, it is a little bit different for me carrying on a conversation myself and interacting with comments versus a conversation with someone else on the screen, where I can hear and see them. But I think this is going to go well, and it's also the first time using StreamYard myself going in. I actually had to get Kim to help me out, set the room up for me. Thank you very much, Kim. I appreciate that. Maybe you and I, or Cindy and I, or whoever, can just go over it another time later on, when we're not so busy, and just before next week, and I'll get it figured out. So one more for the road. Again, thank you everyone for tuning in. It's time to get away from the crazy world that we live in right now for 30 minutes or so a day on IWK. Um, and just one thing I wanted to close off with, something that I've believe in doing, is living intentionally. And remember, when you live life intentionally, you'll begin to see the little synchronicities in life, despite all the chaos that's around us. And that is so true. When my health was not good and I was not in a good place, um, my life was just going down and in a spiral. Once I started being able to get healthy and take care of myself, um, I can't remember where I'm going with that. Just started being able to just see different opportunities that are sitting right in front of me. So if I'm not focusing all my energy on all the bad and looking for what I can learn. When things happen in life, look for the lesson. Um, instead of saying what's happening to me, what is it? Ask yourself, what is it that I can learn from this? And in that, I'm just going to close out, and peace till next week. And don't forget to tune in I believe every night on IWK, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for the IWK Daily Sesh with other joint hosts. Peace. Take care.